And when they say they want a reel, do they mean like a video?
Yes.
Okay.
It's whatever the equivalent for a portfolio would be. If you're an animator, they want a video, most likely.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this prop artist position for what game is this? Diablo.
You know, it,
Sounds pretty.
it usually really helps if you know what game you're applying for.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm really serious about trying to apply to Blizzard.
Uh, if you want, when when we go to coffee with some of the Blizzard devs, you can just hop along and be like, yeah, I'm an artist.
Yes, please. Oh my god.
But like you gotta have a solid portfolio if you're gonna be applying to Blizzard, even as an intern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, guava juice.
That's Carpe, isn't it? Yeah.
Carpe diem. All right.
It's
Well, I guess we're waiting for Andrew to join us. I think today's going to be another short-ish podcast. Mostly because after this, or like, I guess this is going to go up after the Extra Life stream.
Wait, I'm just saying I might have to like leave like near 5:30, 5:45.
That is most likely when it's going to end, actually. So that's perfectly fine. I'm going to close my door. We'll be there. I was also getting some residual noise. Also, I just realized I don't have my headphones on, so.
There's a position for global broadcast and production studio intern. That sounds fun. Do that.
Honestly, I could apply and just be like, look at the tens of like games I've casted for Smash Brothers. I have actual experience for that now.
Lol.
I'm not kidding, Lily. I have actual experience.
I know.
I've also
I've seen it happen.
I've casted CS games as well, which is more closer to the actual genre. But did you know that this jar of jelly beans has 60 servings per container? It has 110 calories. However, who is that typing? Oh, it's Kevin. God damn it, Kevin. There are 60 servings per container, and there are 27 pieces. So, doing some rough mathematical skill deduction, we can say that there are, like, 1,600 jelly beans in there? Something like that?
Nice.
That is 1,600 jelly beans, and if everyone that promised to show up was actually showing up to Extra Life streaming, then we would have roughly 400 jelly beans a person if we were all to eat all of the jelly beans. Isn't that insane? Isn't that some insane mathematics? Wow, I wish Andrew would be able to get in this call so I could do the intro, but here we are. You know, in that case,
He's in the call, he's just muted.
I know, because he has an actual call. Hey, why don't we just go into like without even introing, let's just go into like a soft topic here. BlizzCon announcements.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Lily, why don't you start, because I'm sure you're bouncing off the walls to tell us about some new things that are happening in OW.
Wait, are we recording now?
Whenever I get into the call, I just hit record at a random time, and
I see.
That's
okay.
when we start.
All right, to start off this podcast, so the BlizzCon opening ceremony happened a couple hours ago, and it was pretty exciting. So the rumors are right. There was a McCree short, and also they were showing two new major characters, for the Overwatch scene. First, there's Ashe, which is going to be actual in-game hero, and she looks pretty awesome. Well, I'd say like she looks cool, but I have to say this is probably a pretty like quote unquote safe design for Blizzard, because her bio says she's 39, yet she looks 23. And like it's just basically the same pretty lady like with lipstick design, just with some extra features like a cowboy hat. So I guess they're still trying to cater to their some parts of their fan base, but I'm pretty excited for what they're gonna do with Echo. That Omnic, or I don't know if it's even Omnic, but it's probably just a normal artificial intelligence that was actually featured in one of the first like Overwatch poster spreads, but wasn't like implemented for a very long time. It's been like 2 years. So it's exciting. And plus like people saw McCree like lovingly rendered in the cinematic quality for the first time. So I know people are bouncing off the walls about that.
It was a very well animated and fun cinematic, which was a very nice departure from the depressing ones we've been getting recently. So,
Yes.
yeah. Depressing in a good way, by the way. I don't mean they're fun. Kevin.
Oh, wait.
What?
Okay, wait a minute. Lily, keep going.
Oh no, this is not related to the podcast. You can go, Kevin.
Kevin,
Yeah.
tell us all about these Hearthstone announcements that you were telling me about.
Okay, so the new expansions announced, and these cards are goddamn insane. Wait, hold on. Let me pull up the list.
Give
of
me your
cards.
Kripparrian / Toast / ex Hearthstone streamer style breakdown of how these cards will change the meta completely.
Wait, I need to find the list of cards because I don't remember all of them.
That's just unprofessional.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. No.
I'm kidding.
Is it this one?
This is very laid back.
Oh, okay,
because-
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a new mechanic called Overkill, where basically, if the card kills, like it can be a weapon, a minion, whatever, right? If it kills something with more damage than is required, then it has like an extra effect, right? So like one of the weapons is a 6 mana 4/4, and it has Overkill. You can attack again. So like if there's like a 3 health minion and you hit it and kill it, you can attack again. And then if you kill another one, you can keep attacking too. So that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of stealth for 1 turn minions.
My friends,
Hello.
Oh,
Hey,
Andrew's
wait.
here.
So, Kevin, please continue. Why don't you go ahead and show us some of these
can you
cards?
hear me, my friends?
Yes, we
Oh,
can.
wait,
Okay,
I
well,
can hear
I'll
you, my
pull up the
friends.
link. Hold on. Here, I put the link in the chat.
Well, no, you show us some of these cards and tell us about how you think they'll change them. Just pick some of the highlights. Top three
Okay.
cards, go.
So, okay, this one I saw. I'm just like picking out the ones that just caught my eye immediately. I posted in the chat. This one looks goddamn insane. It's an 8 mana warlock spell that's destroy half of each player's deck, and it's an epic, so you can run 2 of them. So basically, if you get this off, you can just stop any combo deck, which is crazy.
What in the world? That's busted.
That's fun.
Yeah, and you can run 2
Destroy
of
half
them
each
too.
of your deck.
That's pretty good.
Then you literally just run this in Zoo Warlock, and you destroy like every control deck.
You could run Spiteful Summoner with that too, because that's an 8 cost, so you'll get to summon 8 cost minions too.
I
Pretty
mean,
nasty.
that you usually run Spiteful in like mid-range control decks. I don't think because if you're destroying half of your deck, you probably want to run this in some kind of aggro deck. So it's probably gonna be in like a Zoo deck, which wouldn't run Spiteful. This one came straight from Custom Hearthstone. It's a 8 mana 5/5 mage legendary that's add a copy of your opening hand to your hand, except this card.
That's pretty awesome. I kind of like that.
That's disgustingly busted. What the heck?
I
Well,
like that.
Okay, so I had misread this originally. I thought it said add a copy of your hand to your hand, which was like custom.
But it's your
Hearthstone.
opening hand. So
Yeah, okay,
but
but if it's your opening hand, that's actually a lot more balanced because if you're
right,
keeping
because you're gonna not keep your best cards. in
no,
your
no,
opening
you're not
hand.
gonna be keeping late game cards. In your opening
Is
hand
this
for the most
is
part.
this opening hand after Mulligan
Is
or
that
before?
mage? Is that
That's
shit
probably
mage?
it's probably after Mulligan.
Oh my god! Wait, no, seriously, is that shit mage?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
mage.
it's mage.
Dude, oh my god, my
Lily-
friend, he runs a deck that's all
Wait,
heavy
wait.
minions.
Yeah.
My friend's gonna go
Hold on.
busted with that
Hold
thing.
on. Does that include the quest cards?
Probably, but you don't need two. If you're running quests, you have an OTK.
Two time warps sounds disgusting.
If you're
That's-
running but
that's
then you have
ultimate
to
BM.
actually you have to do the quest again. It's
Well,
not that
yeah,
you just get the reward.
But that's still ultimate BM. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna do the quest again.
But considering how long Mage has to stall, just to get the quest off the first time, running 2 quests is not going to do anything.
I wish
Also,
that was a
if
neutral
you-
card.
Okay, if you get your quest off and you don't win the game, you have just lost the game. There's no point.
That's why you get another quest.
No. You will lose the game before you finish that
Yeah,
second
I
quest.
know. Okay, and
Um,
one more card, Kevin.
Wait, I'm trying to see what a cool card is. Okay, this one is like a super meme card. So do you know what Holy Wrath is? The paladin
Isn't
card?
that the deal 8 damage or deal 1 damage 8 times?
No. No, okay, so it's a 5 mana, draw a card, and deal damage equal to its cost. And then this expansion, they have a 25 mana cost legendary paladin minion.
Oh, I saw
So
this in
if
the
you-
yeah.
So if you Holy Wrath and then you pull this, you can just do 25 damage straight face. So if you could probably run this with like
Is-
Molten Giant.
Doesn't its cost though get?
No, but Holy Wrath applies it before cost reduction.
Oh,
What? Really?
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Oh,
So yeah, if you
spicy.
Holy Wrath
Even
and
if
pull
it-
this, you do 25 damage to whatever.
Even if it didn't, you could literally build a deck that was just not about
No.
spells.
So there's a guaranteed way you can pull this off, but it's like really hard. So you have to burn through your entire deck, right? You have to play this for under 3 mana. You have to Baleful Banker, and then you can Holy Wrath, and then that's guaranteed because that'll be the only card in your deck. So you're guaranteed to get the 25 damage off. But you have to have like an empty deck before you do that, and you have to have like spend 22 mana on spells.
Pretty gnarly, though. That's
Yeah, so
that's something cool.
And then
Yeah, looks like an
Those- yeah.
interesting expansion. Andrew, would you?
So what
like-
did I miss? What have we talked about before I got in
went
here?
over the Overwatch cinematic, and we just got to Hearthstone. Would you like to talk to us about Diablo Immortal?
Yeah, actually, I would. I did watch the. I watched
I,
the.
I
release.
assumed you would have some words on that one, so please go ahead. Especially since Wyatt Chang was the.
I don't know if he was. I don't know what his role on that has been.
I don't know,
haven't
but
talked to him in a
I was
while.
just saying that because he was the presenter for it. So
Well, oh, was he? Okay, then he probably had a very similar role that he did to Diablo. So actually, when I met Wyatt, we were playing a game called. He introduced me to a game called Hero Academy. It's made by the same studio that did. What is that game called? Orcs Must Die.
oh, that
I'll
game's
link it.
awesome.
Yeah, and I actually love this
The
game. It's
sequel was
probably
pretty
one of my
solid.
favorite mobile games. I used to play this a lot, but I don't think it has a very large player base anymore. So Wyatt used to do have some blog posts and stuff where he like kind of dissected this game. It makes perfect sense to me thinking in retrospect that he obviously was playing mobile games and did like them. And that now there's a mobile Diablo. That was my initial reaction. Aside from that, it looks like they got the mechanics fairly like right. Considering mobile, it's sometimes a hard translation for certain franchises. So, excuse me. I think RTS and like any top-down game with clicking seems to translate fairly well. I don't think it's a major surprise that we saw RuneScape launch a mobile version this week. Yeah, mechanically it looks really cool, and it looks like they're also adding some new content. So that's really cool. Since it's all it's supposed to take place in a different time.
I actually had
after
the
this whole
same.
thing.
I had the same impression I think that you did. I was initially turned off when they said it was for mobile, but then when I saw the gameplay, I was like, you know what? They got it. It isn't some weird mobile adaptation where they change the gameplay to be like, oh, you have to wait exit. No, it's just Diablo on mobile.
So like I look at that and I wasn't entirely surprised, to be honest with you. I feel like had they done that 3 days before RuneScape launched on mobile, that would have looked a little bit more surprising maybe.
Yeah.
But my friends have been playing RuneScape on mobile and they think it's amazing. And like beyond that, like I mean after seeing Scrolls, I've played some Doom, like some of the Doom games they've released on mobile. Really all mobile is about is getting the input right. If you get the input right, you can almost put any game on mobile. I think FPS doesn't translate well to mobile personally. I think you almost need a controller or a mouse and keyboard for FPS on mobile. I think that FPS is going to translate far more one-to-one to things like VR and AR. But like when you're talking about something top down, point and click, like maybe you have like 4 moves, I could totally see those games working great on mobile. And I think that it looked like to me, now they didn't show much UI there. That's something that's worth pointing out. I'm not entirely sure how they were doing all their moves, but it seems to me like they may have simplified the move set a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that they really, I mean, this is Blizzard. They will make compromises where they count, if that makes sense. I think that, like, if you look at the Diablo port, I think that the Diablo team has really handled all of their ports or all of their game releases on other platforms very elegantly. Like, it took them a long time to release on console, but it was good when they did. You know, some people still think that Diablo 3 on console is the best.
Right, we're gonna go on here because we're short on time. The next game that we're gonna discuss briefly is Heroes of the Storm, because they announced the only surprise was that they didn't announce an actual character that exists in another universe. They announced essentially an OC. As the person who probably has the most hours in Heroes, I'm a little disappointed, but I understand why they're going this direction. But I hope that I hope that if anything, it at least provides good gameplay. And unlike the past 3 releases, I really hope that her win rate doesn't just completely destroy the meta like it has for the past few heroes they've released. That's all I have to say about that. That's all we're saying about it. I mean, unless someone wants to quickly chime in about Orphea.
I actually think that that's a really cool move on their part to make their own heroes for that game.
I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm just saying I hope it works.
No, yeah, I do think it's the right move, at least for a look, like, to do that every once in a while, because at some point it just is, you know, MOBA Smash Bros. In the Blizzard universe.
The only thing I have to say about the new hero reveal is that I'm impressed that they blended the 3D and 2D animation.
The hero reveal was actually very well done, I will say.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, StarCraft. I actually missed the announcement. My understanding is that there's just a new Corp Commander, Zeratul, who is a really important character in the StarCraft 2 Protoss arc. I believe that one was called. Oh no, I don't remember what the Protoss campaign was called.
I also don't remember either. So.
Oh no, that's so embarrassing. Well, it's not Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, we all forget things sometimes. You can Google it.
Wings of Liberty was Terran. Heart of the Swarm was oh my god, the Swarm, the Zerg, and the Protoss campaign was, tip my tongue, yeah, I'm just gonna look it up. It was what was it? Someone save me.
Legacy of the
Void. They were trying to kill Amon, whatever his name was. In any case, so yeah, StarCraft 2. I mean, they had StarCraft remastered last year, so. And the World Championships for StarCraft's coming out. And the last game, of course, games, World of Warcraft. Warcraft is having a bit of a renaissance recently, I think, because we got the new trailer for the latest part of the latest segment or update for Battle of Azeroth. I think it was like Clashing Souls or something like that. Shifting Tides of Vengeance. We saw the cinematic. And I think it's actually a very interesting cinematic.
Who just joined us?
That was Matthew.
Matt.
Welcome. Because it's a very interesting cinematic. Because
Matt's voice.
What was happening within the Warcraft community was that Sylvanas, after she essentially ordered the life tree to be burnt down, a lot of Horde players were like, "Can we not have another villain be our Horde leader, please? Like, why are we always the bad guys?" And like, so obviously the loyal Horde players were like, whatever, we'll just ignore her, we'll just do the campaign and whatever, we'll have fun, and we'll bully the Alliance people. And they're doing what a lot of people were actually campaigning them to do, which is they're bringing back the last quote-unquote good guy Horde chief, which is Sourfang. Supposedly, the cutscene that they played, or the cinematic.
Wait, wasn't that the guy who used to stand in the? No, that was a different guy, right?
I think
there used to be a guy who's. There was a character. I think it was Sarfang.
Was it Sarfang?
Okay, wait.
I thought Sarfang was a good guy. I'm not that.
No. Yeah. I that might be true. Wait, give me 1 second. If this is the guy, I think it is. So there was this one character who used to stand. It might have been Sarfang. I don't remember. But there was this guy who would stand in the middle of like the walkway in old World of Warcraft, and like no, that was a different character, but he was basically a meme.
Speaking of
I don't
old
remember.
World of Warcraft, also World of Warcraft Classic
Vanilla.
is available to play, or vanilla. Yeah, the vanilla version is available to play for those of you with the BlizzCon pass, as well as, for people who are at BlizzCon. I'm just gonna double check that I'm not streaming because I did that last week. We're not streaming. Okay, good. And also, World of Warcraft, or excuse me, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3. Reforged was announced as well, and that I'm pretty excited for.
I think that both that and classic WoW are built on newer tech, if I'm correct.
It seems like I agree, but it seems like if they did the StarCraft remaster, and Warcraft 3 is also not it's RTSE, right? I'm pretty sure it's like an RTS, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is an RTS.
Yeah, it's possible that they probably did use the same engine. Also, I'm just going to point out that the same model that they used for Mal'Ganis in the Warcraft 3 seems to be the exact same model that they put into Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, interesting. That's actually very interesting.
It is very interesting. So it looks like the next time BlizzCon's rolling up, we just have to look to, okay, what models could they what characters just got released for Heroes, so which remodels are they just
What could they reuse?
Yeah. Okay,
Nice.
Anyway, I think that was all the BlizzCon announcements.
Okay, so I actually watched the Smash announcements.
Okay,
as
that was going to
streamed by-
transition to that. Perfect. Well done, Andrew. Thank you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I figured that's where you were going.
Yep. Let's do this for another 5 minutes and then go on to the actual segment. Go ahead.
But I figured you like so
Yeah.
yesterday you were was it yesterday
It was
that you were
yesterday.
streaming Smash Club?
We weren't streaming it. It's available on the YouTube. The reaction video somehow got like a bunch of views. I have no idea how.
I was one of them.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was pretty hype. The only thing I would say is like next time I would switch the picture-in-picture to be everyone and make the actual announcements the bigger thing.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like focusing on us.
Yeah, true, but I think a lot of times even like so people are still want to like watch
Oh
the
no,
announcements.
I got you.
But yeah,
Basically, the uproar that people on the outside of the Smash community would point to is that PD Piranha is the first DLC character. Now, to clarify, they announced a fighter DLC pack. PD Piranha is not one of the 5 characters that is in the DLC pack. He's just for free if you purchase the game before January 31st. Now, I will say I was pretty upset by just I think I was mostly
I could hear you being upset
Yeah.
if you were there.
Oh yeah, yes, that was me. I'm like, really, mostly like I want to say that I'm mostly just disappointed because of the order that they announced them in. If King K. Rool was announced at this direct instead of the last Smash Direct where they had the other stuff, I would be like to the moon, you know? Like there wasn't really a super hype announcement other than World of Light, which is the Smash Story campaign.
Okay, so I think that the Piranha, like having PD Piranha, was actually really kind of cool because they translated a Piranha plant fairly well into gameplay. I didn't think
I
they
also
would be
agree
able
with
to
that.
achieve that.
I
It
also
didn't make a lot of sense, and it worked pretty well.
It's a weird thing with Sakurai that he just loves putting characters in that you wouldn't think would make sense at all. Like Duck
So the
Hunt.
thing that oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Duck Hunt, for instance, no one thought you could make any kind of moveset out of a character that did literally nothing in the games other than taunt the player. And then he did a really good job of incorporating the games that were he wasn't in like Shootout, but like the games that were related to the genre that he came from. And
I think that in a lot of ways gives him or really shows him, and I don't know if he's the only designer on his team, but it shows his ability and his team's ability as designers to be able to take characters that really make no sense and still design a very reasonable moveset and have them actually make sense in the game.
Yeah, I do kind of want like him at GDC. Like I don't know if he has given the GDC talk before, but I think it would be interesting. My favorite meme from it is when after he announced the DLC, after he just blinks a few times and he says, "I wonder if I'll ever get any time to rest."
Yeah. Oh my god,
It was really funny because someone on the Smash Bros. Subreddit asked, so clearly everyone in North America is pretty upset, and some people were just unjustly upset. Like, they were just yelling at him on Twitter. And then someone asked, so how are the people in Japan reacting? And the people were like, oh yeah, they're just like, man, what a great direct. I hope Sakurai gets rest. And we're just here like throwing a fit. And it's like, it's fine. Like,
honestly,
this
like
direct,
that team must crunch like mad.
yeah,
I feel
that's
very
definitely
bad for
I
the
feel bad
Smash
for them
team.
as well.
And like they literally make a roster of like almost 70 or over 70 characters, and like
Yeah.
people are upset.
It is
Come on,
over
guys.
70 characters. It's
Yeah.
not, it's over 70.
It's like 74, I think, right?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, but you know who's not there?
Waluigi, shut the fuck
Yes.
up, Kevin. I swear to God, if because of you goddamn memers we get Waluigi instead of a character that people actually want, I'm gonna be pissed.
So I do want to point one
to be
thing out.
fair,
Yes.
I do
fair,
want to point
people
one
do
thing out.
want Waluigi.
The assist trophies. I'm actually sad about the assist trophies a little bit because some of my favorite characters made it as assist trophies, which means they're probably not going to make it as characters.
Yeah, I mean,
Ever.
see, for me, I don't necessarily think that them making it as assist trophies deconfirms them for making it into a full character. Like, for instance, Bomberman. If Bomberman could become a character, they could just replace the Bomberman model with, like, the Bomber Girl or some other character from the Bomberman series.
That's true. And you know who else? They made Isaac. What do you think of that? We were talking about that last week, weren't we?
If you looked at the reaction video, most of us were very upset when we saw Isaac as an assistant.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
Shadow as well. But honestly, I will. The last thing that I want to say about this before we'll let you guys talk about it and then go to the actual segment, is that I wish I really. The problem for me was that the first time we saw, well, after the initial announcement of Smash, we saw Ridley, and people lost their minds. And then after that, we saw King K. Rool, and people lost their minds again. And then this direct, we didn't really get anything that kind of met that level. And I think it set unrealistic expectations for this direct.
I mean, it did seem like people in the group, in the Smash group that you were with, were pretty excited about like Ken when Ken got announced at the beginning. But that might have just been pre-hype.
The one or two people that were reacting to it really like Street Fighter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but also it was because there was a leak that happened, and Ken was part of that leak. So we started getting hope that the leak was real, and it wasn't.
Also, who was the other character they announced?
Incineroar apparently was. I didn't realize that it was pretty obvious, or like not obvious, but it was pretty likely that Incineroar was going to get in there. But he is, I believe he's from Sun and Moon, and he is the quote-unquote heal type Pokemon. And the heal Pokemon is a wrestling term that means a bad guy in wrestling, which is why all of his moves are wrestling based and fire.
Interesting. I mean, I think that's a really. I don't know if people are excited about that inclusion. To me,
Pokemon fans are.
Modern Pokemon fans.
Yes.
So, like, obviously, I haven't played Sun and Moon. So, like, unlike when you include, Mewtwo or even anything from, like, the first 3 or 4 gens, this is very much a new Pokemon. So,
definitely. Okay, so welcome, everybody, to the Game Development Club at San Jose State, podcast number 9.
Wait, we're just starting?
No. I've been recording this whole time.
yeah, no is the correct answer.
That was just the yes, exactly. Thank you.
That's amazing.
This is just when I'm now introing, like 30 minutes. How long was that? Yeah, 30 minutes into the podcast, I'm now doing the intro. So joining us today in this podcast is Kevin.
Yo.
Lily, who is muted. Andrew.
Yo.
And Matthew Binning.
Hello.
And apparently he's 5 miles away from his microphone. Today on the podcast, today's the docket. I'm just gonna mention Extra Life, which already happened. I think we shilled Extra Life a little bit on the last podcast, so that's good enough. We're just gonna be going over the one segment we didn't get to last time, which is video games to board games, transitioning video game mechanics to board games and vice versa. Very broad topic as usual, and then we're gonna maybe not do the game generator this time. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, so video games to board games. Mechanic translation. Who would like to begin?
I can, but I would prefer to let someone else speak a little bit first.
How about Matt?
video game to board game mechanics translation.
If you were to translate a video game to a board game, how would you do it? Pick one.
Let's see.
Are there
Probably.
I guess the question is, are there any mechanics you think that that could not at all be translated to board games?
Oh yeah, a lot
And
of
vice
those
versa.
are. A lot of those are like real-time reaction mechanics. I feel like. So, stereotypically, you go with an FPS, and then if you imagine integrating that into a board game, you can translate the game.
Is there any way you can improve your microphone?
Yeah, that's really weird.
That was very, very subtle of you, Carlo. But it was
You sound like you're underwater.
in a tunnel underwater.
In a tunnel, speaking through a bag.
Okay.
Once.
Sorry about this, but I think I might have to bail now.
It's okay. Thank you, Kevin.
Anyway, yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Actually, tomorrow at Extra Life, but yeah. Anyway, see y'all.
Bye bye.
But you know
Oh,
what?
I just missed-
Matt?
Currently my PC is like melting, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, your PC's melting?
Yeah, the whole
Can you
desktop
can you try opening the Discord app on your phone and just calling us there?
Just give me a second. I'll restart.
Okay,
Yes.
well, we're gonna do that. So in the I'll start then. Actually, I'm gonna bounce off of Matt's point a little bit. There are actually some kind of interesting real-time mechanics that can be done in board games where, like, I think someone at our first club meeting where we did paper prototyping actually did make a real-time dice rolling kind of game where it was territory control and your success rate in capturing territories was determined by your dice rolls. And as long as you just kept rolling, you would eventually get it. But it was also real time, so you were rolling against someone who was also rolling dice in the at the same time. And I thought that was pretty interesting, actually. Because real time strategy is kind of it is obviously mostly in the realm of video games, but it's interesting. It's interesting to see how people are trying to adopt it to board games.
Okay, so my headset died. I was switching. I did not hear which thing we were talking about.
I was talking about a game that was made at the club where someone had, basically it's territory control, and you had to roll dice in real time to capture the spaces, and while the other person was also rolling in real time to capture the spaces.
That's actually really clever. That's neat. Real time tabletop is really interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that, like, even though it's turn-based, if you look at something like Magic the Gathering, where you have instant spells, you can kind of play at the same time as your opponent. So there definitely is a way to handle that in semi-real time. I know that certain mechanics don't fare well going the other direction too. So from like desktop, from tabletop to like a video game, an example of a mechanic that doesn't fare well on tabletop but does fare well in video games is, and you see this a ton in Hearthstone, generate cards. Because it's really hard to generate random cards when you don't physically have extras or have them at all. So that's an interesting mechanic that doesn't do well the other direction.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I will say I like how Hearthstone has taken advantage of its medium and done things like the overkill mechanic, which is kind of hard to keep track of. Stat boosting as well is really hard to keep track of, or like hard to keep track of, and not be a hassle with, like, you know, there's like clip-on things to cards, you know, encounters and stuff.
Yeah, actually, using Hearthstone as the example a little further too. Hearthstone actually is a case where they axed a real-time mechanic, specifically like instant spells, because it slows the gameplay down on computers or on video games too much. Because people will just take their entire, I've got 30 seconds, and there's not a player across the table from them looking at them like, hey, jerk, like, would you please make your move? They'll bide their time just to be not nice when they're losing. So that's also an interesting point, is that some mechanics get definitely, despite the fact that they can work, they generally get cut when they come to PC or video games in particular. I think a lot of that also has to do with just the general difficulty of coding systems like that work properly.
I think this. Wait, Matt, do you want to add to this, by the way? And
Yeah,
you just
sorry to interrupt. Is my mic still dead?
It's not as bad.
Okay.
It's quiet, but it's okay.
Okay. I was thinking, because Andrew got me thinking, for the other direction, if you're talking about card games, one thing that's done probably more easily on tabletop versus in-game would be, like, if you imagine a deck of 52 cards, that's probably a lot easier to randomize.
Matt, I can't understand a word you're saying.
I'm just gonna listen.
I know.
It's like you have like a net around your mic. I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Lily. One thing you could try is you could right click on Matt's picture, and you could grab the user volume thing and slide it up a little bit, and it might make him more understandable.
No, it's not the volume. It's just he just sounds garbled. Like I don't know what's going on with his mic, but it's like
right. But if you make him a little louder, he might be somewhat understandable.
Okay, Matt.
I don't know, just a thought.
Matt, say something.
Hello.
Okay, I can tell he's saying hello.
Good enough.
But...
Just keep going, Matt.
Okay, I just switched my USB port and stuff.
So a deck of 52 cards.
Yeah. So it's a lot. Well, not a lot, but it's easier just to randomize. Say a deck of 52 cards. So if you shuffle it, and there was a game a while back that we heard of in one of our comp sec classes, but they tried to randomize a deck of 52 cards, but they used a pseudo-random generator, and it was 32 bits, so it was impossible to get all of the shuffles, and then people exploited that to get it down to basically just winning every game after a couple of rounds. So, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think...
So I actually did this experiment with a game. I was actually working on building a Doom deck building game, kind of like Dominion, as an experiment a while back, to build a deck building game. And so in a lot of deck building games, you'll have basically a deck of cards that you can buy from, and then also you'll have currency and things like that. So in the one that I was building, I had translated, moving through a level as there being an exploration deck, and so you would explore. I can't remember if you had to buy into it or not. I worked on it a while back, but the thing is, you can even convert an FPS to a tabletop game, though you might not do it 1-to-1.
What's funny is that I think Fallout actually kind of came up with a solution for how you would translate a shooter to a board game, except not as exact as they did it, obviously, but they kind of have you have an accuracy stat, and then so hit percent chance, you just kind of roll a dice, when you kind of did I hit him or not, that kind of thing. But
you just gave me an idea.
I'm glad.
Did we
that's good.
tap on Fallout 76 releasing this week as well?
We didn't, but we can if it relates to the topic.
They have cards.
No.
As their, that's actually why I thought of it. I thought of it specifically because they use cards as part of their leveling mechanics, which is interesting. I think I always found it interesting when you see tabletop things that are really inherently very tabletop, very real world, get used in a non-ironic game sense for a game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of weird. So I don't know. That's just a thought, but I don't know. Has anyone tried it? Is anyone in the beta?
76?
Yeah, the B.E.T.A.
No.
Okay.
Matt?
I've not tried that.
Lilith?
What?
Have you tried the Fallout 76 beta?
I have not.
Okay. Well.
Okay, I guess no one. We have no opinion on this.
Yeah.
Aside from a picture that Chaz sent me earlier today. I'll send it in the chat.
I will say
And you could
I am
describe it.
interested to see how Edmund McMuffin, or as he's well, it's McMillan, but a lot of people affectionately called him Breadman McMuffin. How he will how well his adaptation of The Binding of Isaac to a card game plays out. I for one am very excited. I just got charged for the backer kit, so and it seems that production has went along smoothly. We've gotten pictures, we've gotten regular updates, well, semi-regular updates. And I'm excited, and it's shipping in December. We're probably gonna revisit this topic as we go talk about how we would translate. Like I think we're gonna use the specific example of our games and how we would translate them to board games. But I think you know what, one thing that I think is interesting to Matt's point about real time mobile or like real time tabletop games is that there's a game, I think it's called Clask. And I'm going to look it up really fast to make sure I'm talking about the right one, where essentially it's made out of wood, and yes, it is the game I'm thinking of. And essentially it's made out of wood, and it's kind of played like soccer, where the objective here is to knock. So here, let me paste the picture, and I'm going to do my best to explain this to our audio listeners. So basically, it's a table, and your hand goes underneath it, and you use a magnet to control a puck. Kind of like in air hockey. So you're controlling this puck, and your objective is to knock that red ball, a red ball with your puck, into your opponent's circular goal there. However, there are a couple of other loose conditions. If your puck falls into the hole where the ball is supposed to go, your opponent gets a point. Or if your puck magnetizes 3 of the other magnets in the center of the stage, your opponent gets a point that way.
Do you mean the marshmallows?
Those marshmallow
clearly
things?
marshmallows.
Yeah, those are the marshmallows. Yeah. If you magnetize the marshmallows. But
Okay.
it's technically a board game.
Oh my god.
But I know, right? Oh my god. What was that?
That was my roommate.
Oh my god. But yeah. That's the physical aspect of some board games is kind of part of the appeal of them. Like even something like Mousetrap, even though the actual board game part of that was garbage, the fun part was just building the trap and watching it go.
So, did anyone look at this link I sent? It's a pretty short video.
Is this Chaz's?
Yeah, Chaz sent that to me. I mean, he didn't record it, but he sent it.
The clip is of Saquisha playing Fallout 76. It has 100,000 something views. Is it sped up, first of all, or is it just sensitivity?
No. So that's what he's saying. He's saying that basically when the game is loading.
Oh, that's right. Isn't it like based on frame rate or something like that? So like,
yeah, it's frame rate dependent. Oh my gosh.
I remember.
How
that.
did they?
I don't.
How? Like
that's
let's have a short game dev conversation about this.
Yeah.
I'm not as experienced as the people over at Bethesda, but
no, you're right. Even Kevin and I know that you have to like multiply by delta time, or like delta between frames, so that's something.
Yeah, well,
like
there
that
are other
happen.
ways to do it.
Well,
there are other ways to do it. You can use a fixed update loop as well. But like even so, like how did they get away with that?
They have what, 2 weeks to fix that? I mean, is that even possible?
No.
If the whole system is like that seems impossible.
They might have to Control Shift F and replace all, and hope to God that it works.
Or like just like frame. There's no way they're gonna frame cap people. They wouldn't do that. I don't think. I hope they wouldn't.
It
might be like a good soft patch.
Fix it.
Yeah, it might be a good soft patch in the meantime. I forgot I read about that, but I didn't realize it was like a huge problem. They will. There's no way.
They're gonna get panned
the 60 FPS police is gonna be all over them.
Oh yeah, seriously. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel bad too, because like honestly, I have to say, like, as a dev, moving from doing single player games to multiplayer games is a substantial increase in complexity, even if you're getting to strip out all the NPCs. Like, and they're really, I think they're really trying to, I think they're trying.
I feel dumb for asking this question, but has the Bethesda made a large multiplayer game like this before?
I believe the answer is no.
Isn't that
Elder Scrolls Online? Reworking of their engine.
That's true, Elder Scrolls Online. Or did they outsource that?
Well, they bought the engine for that.
Okay, yeah. I thought because I was pretty sure they didn't.
And they did.
develop
I
that
think.
in-house
I don't
entirely.
think it was made. I think it was made in house, but by another studio in house. Kind of. It's not like.
Oh,
I could
got
be
you.
wrong.
Yeah, it's
But
like
I think
how
that's how that works.
it's like how
It's a
Smash Brothers.
Bethesda.
Keep going.
Sorry, I think it's a Bethesda publisher, not a Bethesda Softworks.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
It's kind of like how Smash Brothers isn't technically a Nintendo property. It's a Sora Unlimited property that is being made by Bandai Namco.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
super weird, but yeah, I think it's probably one of those. Okay, Matt, did you have anything to add about Elder Scrolls Online? Fallout 76's weird frame rate thing, frame rate dependency.
Yeah, just remember to multiply by all the time. Fallout 3 is better than Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, that's about it.
Matt, thank
No,
you-
the
thank
thing
you
the
for
thing I
reaching
like
out
about
to
this
us.
is that he's kind of got that echo. So
Yeah.
I totally heard multiply by Zelda time.
Yeah. No, this is
Time dot Zelda
Matt. We
time.
appreciate that you're really trying to call us from the nether regions of the universe.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That's weird.
It's okay. I understood you.
Dude, have any of you guys played one of those board games where like the board changes mid play session?
Yeah,
I don't think
that
I have.
one escape from the mansion thing.
Oh, Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yeah.
Betrayal at House on the Hill is one where like the board gets generated. Yeah, that's a good example. I kind of like
Everyone I know who's played that seems to love it, but I've not tried it.
It's really nice just because it has. I don't think it's not a unique mechanic to Betrayal, but it's one that pulls off very well, where the mansion is essentially randomly or procedurally generated, where every room is brought from a deck, and whenever you explore a new room, you just draw a tile to place into that room that you're now exploring, and you draw a card from a deck of random events that occur in that room. So it's really nice in that way. There was another one, I think it was like Keeper of the Hill or something like that, where like your characters would have to get to a certain spot, and then the board opens up like a book, and then you're transported to another section of the map. But fast travel is like a pretty obvious mechanic for a board game. Like even something in like a hexagrid. There was actually another like shooter game for board games where you're actually given like physical catapults that are like spring powered. And you're given like these red pellet balls, and you have to shoot your opponent's like targets and knock them over to win the game. So that's kind of like a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like laser
actually, yeah.
tag. I mean, that's not exactly a board game, but laser tag. It's a game. Wait, I'm trying to find the name of that game now. But yeah. Lily, what are your favorite kinds of board games? How about this? If you could turn Stardew Valley into a board game, this is what we're doing instead of Game Generator. If you could turn Stardew Valley into a board game, how would you do it? Go.
The plants would grow based on turns, I guess. And you can only sell it when you come to a certain part of the board.
Oh, so it's kind of like the winery.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of about farming. You're growing the grapes.
Oh wait, I'm kind of seeing the board now. So like you have it's not exactly like we can start simple and like it's circular where you have your farm in one section of the map and then the market on the other, and you have to like expand your farm out. Or something like that.
Maybe your
Okay.
farm could be like procedurally generated, just like the House on the Hill game.
So I found a picture. Okay, the game is called Weapons and Warriors. I'm gonna paste this in the Discord, and basically you essentially have you have a trebuchet, two crossbow, or I think you have two trebuchets, two crossbows, and two cannons, and the objective is to hit specific points on each team's castles and knock down their player pieces using those red circle balls as projectiles. And that is the board game. And Andrew has muted himself. I believe he's researching.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I just needed to run a video, or I need to run a video, so I needed to like on my phone.
Pat,
So I was
du
trying to
problème.
not having feedback on you. That game actually looks really cool. The trebuchets and the cannons and
Yeah,
stuff.
I know. It's really.
You know,
sick.
the only thing that kills me is like I love these like intricate tabletop games, but I always find myself a little bit lazy to set up and clean up when they get really, really intricate.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, here's a fun game that I'm bringing over to the Smash community. This is a game
so
that
you know,
might
I mean,
not translate well to video games. It's called I don't have my webcam on. I'm dumb. It's called Happy Salmon, and if you look at this cute little package here, it comes in like a small salmon with a zipper on top. And if I open the zipper, and you can hear the zipper, listen to that zipper action. The only thing that comes with inside is a deck of cards, and the entire rule set is explained inside of the scanning tag that comes with. And the rule set is very simple. Let me read you these rules. At the same time, everyone calls out the action shown on their top card. When two players have a match, they celebrate by performing that action together, then discard their top card. Keep doing this, and the first player to discard all of their cards wins. So basically, there's like a pack of 72 cards, and they all have actions like Happy Salmon, which is like high five. Pound it, so you gotta fist bump the person. Swap places, so you gotta like run across the table and switch places with them. And basically,
that game looks quite fishy.
It is quite fishy, and it's actually really fun with like 5 people, just because of how stupidly chaotic it can get.
It kind of reminds me of Flux with more stupid.
Exactly. Like I wish there were blank cards in this, but I think it's interesting because it plays well off of the physical dynamic of having someone near you. Because swapping places with someone and doing a high five with people, like it's very physical. But it's not weird
Starflux
physical.
has some of those mechanics.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So I think
Yeah, I like games that play off the fact that you are physically there in a room with someone else. So,
I think it's a specific advantage that board games have over video games, although VR is attempting to close that gap substantially.
well, someday we'll be able to literally teleport into other people's rooms and switch places with
we
them.
won't even have to teleport. We'll have like shades of ourselves there, like we'll be projected there, but we'll actually have physical presence as well.
But then we'll be in 2 places at once.
Exactly.
I think
It's like
it'll just be-
it's a Rick and Morty situation where we create a clone of ourselves over there, and then when we're done with that clone, we murder that clone and it dissolves into acid, and then our subconscious gets transferred back to our original body.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Okay, Matt, you want to talk again now that you aren't talking through a straw?
Yeah. I think it's more likely that we're going to be born and we're never going to know the outside world. It'll just be like being born into the Matrix, pretty much. And yeah, that's my opinion.
That's my
See,
opinion.
Carlo's doing what I needed to do, which was wear my Game Dev Club shirt.
Wear a
For the
shirt
stream.
that no one can see for the podcast.
I could see it. That's why I knew you were wearing it.
Well, yeah, but no one's gonna be able to. Okay, anyway, I'm wearing it because of the extra live stream that's happening 3 days ago from when this podcast is going up. You should have hopefully already watched and donated, but the campaign should still be going. So go ahead and donate at www.extralife.com/participant/SJSU Game Dev. Don't delay. Donate today. Donations benefit
Wow,
the
that
Children's
was-
Miracle
that was
Network
pro.
hospitals.
Oh, I'm sorry I talked over you. That was great, though.
I'll repeat that. Donations can go to benefiting the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, helping sick children around the United States of America. I think they might have international hospitals. I'm not entirely sure, but they go to help sick children in need. Don't delay. Donate today. I stole that tagline
What he
from
said.
Louis Rossman, but anyway.
Dude, you
Oh.
should get hired.
Huh?
You should get hired for that kind of stuff.
Okay, we were playing
Dude,
paddles.
I used to do radio on campus. It's really fun. You should go to the radio program.
Someone bought Patently Stupid to the Game Dev Club, which is one of the newer games in the Jackbox Party Pack, and I was doing pitches for everyone, and it's really fun. Like, I had no idea what they drew or what the product was, but I was like, I'm just gonna guess. Like basically, like they were trying to solve a problem, and they had to So basically, the way Patently Stupid works as a game is I do want to bring this up because this is related. The Jackbox games are really interesting because they combine board game mechanics with video game mechanics. It's really interesting. So the way that Patently Stupid works is that everyone is given at the beginning. Everyone's given a prompt and it has a blank space in it. It's like you have to make a problem. I think one of them is like, whenever I'm in a job interview, I always blank. And then the person filled it out with, I always go for that hug instead of the handshake. Like whenever they reach their hand out, I always go for the hug instead of the handshake. So then,
Wait a second. Keep going.
okay,
Go on, sorry.
so then after you pose this problem, someone gets that problem and they have to draw an invention on their phone or laptop that solves the problem. And then they have to make a title for it and then a catchphrase. And then you have to pitch it to all of the other people playing as the solution. And at the end, after everyone has given their pitches to solve problems, you have a $500, $300, and $100 chip, and you give your money to whichever invention you want to see made, essentially. And if that invention reaches its funding goal of like 1,000 or 1,500, depending on how many people are playing, you will receive, if it was successfully funded, you'll receive double the money you put in, and the person that created the invention who gets all of the money that was put in plus 1,000. So you essentially you want to get funding for your product, and that's one of the games that I think is really interesting in that pack. I think it
does sound fun.
It plays well off of like again being in the same room as people. That doesn't always happen with physicality, but it's also played by streamers too, so they get a good bit of experience. But it is really fun to play it in person.
So, is anyone going to install Destiny 2?
I heard that was free.
I will install it to get it for free, then uninstall it because my computer cannot run it.
Okay. See, I am currently installing it right now, and it is done with 40 of the 80 gigabytes of the game.
80
I really want to
gigabytes.
Yeah, 80.
Is
gigabytes.
that after unzipping uncompressing or before?
That is directly from the Blizzard Net servers.
Good God.
Okay, maybe I won't get.
You could just click the little loot crate in the top right of your Blizzard client
Launcher?
thing.
Really? And then just get it? I
and
don't
you
have
can
to
just
download
get
it?
it for free.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I don't think so. At least I don't think you have to, because I had to do that to even get it at all.
Good Lord.
Isn't this wonderful, guys and gals?
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm very excited to get this free game. I'm going to tell my friend right now to just open. That was my Facebook Messenger, by the way, for the people on the stream. I forgot to close it because I was messaging someone. I'm just going to tell the person where to get this free copy of Destiny 2. Don't delay. Download today.
It's true. On a totally unrelated note, while you guys are looking at that, I added melee combat
To
Audio
Audio
Zoe.
Audio Zoe.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
So
Oh, that's cool.
I've been really debating it for a while and didn't really want to initially. Turns out it's really fun, so it was worth it. But yeah,
let's go ahead and quickly do the game generator here. If you're unfamiliar with this segment, I open up the website that I randomly found that spits out ideas for games, and we quickly make a game based on it. An idea only, we don't actually develop it. Here we go. An FPS where you defeat war criminals, except you're one of the bad guys. It's too generic. Let's refresh that a few times.
I mean, it's not too generic. It just seems if you're one of the bad guys, then you're a war criminal, and that means you're a war criminal.
Isn't that just Red Dead Redemption 2?
I don't know.
Okay, how about this?
Is it? I haven't played it.
An action game where you use your powers on spies after landing on a mysterious planet.
You use your powers
on
spies.
On spies. So maybe you land in like a dystopian planet where it's kind of like a Big Brother situation where like you're being watched all the time and the citizens view you as an outcast, and there's social commentary on discrimination for being an outsider and government control of civilians because of security.
Actually, the great irony is that a game like this is you're a spy. because the only people that you would be targeting are other spies.
It's spy. We've developed.
It's you made Spy Kids, guys.
Spy Kids. We get the movie tie-in to a brand new reboot of the Spy Kids franchise, and I'm writing down the prompt right now. So what are our powers that this prompt is describing here?
Spying.
We have stealth powers.
Yeah, stealth maybe. I don't know. Well,
we have the ability.
Stealth is such a boring power. How about you know in Prey, in the more recent Prey,
we have the
how you could turn into objects.
Oh, it's like prop hunt.
Yeah, or Prey, the new Prey. It's like prop hunt or Prey. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's the one where you like possess objects, isn't it? Like you like go into them.
Yeah, you possess them, but you can. In this case, you could just you morph into them. So your power is to be able to morph into objects, and so you can spy by literally being a plant in a room.
Ah. I like
there you go.
Dude, that's pretty
better
good.
than stealth, because stealth lets you get in and out, but the challenge of this game is that you have to still get in and out, but once you're there, you can be an object.
Dude, you have to scan objects in order to add them to your Pokédex of objects that you can turn into.
That's cool. I like that. And you know what else? It's you know how you could put yourself under a box and walk around in Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you could do is you can also make it so that when you're sneaking in, if there's a patrol that's walking by, you can turn into something and not get seen. But if you turn into the wrong thing, you'll look like you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And then they'll come and get you.
Like the
AI
what's
has this doing here?
Situational awareness, or if you're the wrong object in the wrong place, they'll tell.
Yeah, it's
why is there? Yeah, you have separate zones, and those zones have an array of objects that are acceptable to be in that area. And if you're not one of them, then you set off an alarm or something. You set some triggers what's this?
Yeah, so we just evolved the stealth mechanics. It was solid.
We just defined a whole new genre. Matt, would you like to add anything?
You're doing good.
Well, what would you make, Matt? A game about spies. What would you make?
I put the prompt in the Discord
alien
chat.
Spy on a foreign world, spying on spies.
Oh man.
By the way, the prompt is in the Discord chat if you want to see it.
Yeah, let's see. Use your powers on spies after landing on a serious planet.
Hold on.
That's pretty weird.
There is some memes happening right now between League of Legends and is there? Oh, there is a League champion also named Ash.
Yeah, there is. That's a thing.
Huh. You know what? They both have white hair and they're both female.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that. Well, I guess you could be a male named Ashley, though it's not a common thing. So
I'm not gonna say who this is, but both Ash have white hair, and one is a queen and the other looks like an effing queen. Wowee. Anyways, I want both of them to step on me.
lol.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast today. We appreciate, again, Matthew, thank you for calling us from the Nether. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Matt,
Genuine
Matt,
love.
install Destiny 2. We're gonna play together. We're gonna go on raids and do things that are gonna be fun. Sorry.
Dude, 80
Yes.
gigs, man.
80 gigs is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's not. I guess it's not that ridiculous anymore, but it's still pretty ridiculous.
But Matt, it'll be your first Halo game.
Lily is
Sorry.
also here. Thank
Bungie
you for
jokes.
joining me.
No problem.
We appreciate you.
Wait,
Andrew, we
but
also
before we
appreciate
go,
you.
didn't Lily have an idea?
Oh yeah, Lily.
or an
I'm
idea?
sorry. What was your idea for the spy game? We didn't go to you. I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. It's fine. I actually didn't have an idea.
That's not true. Come on now.
No, I genuinely don't.
Okay, now I get to voice my idea.
Okay, go for it.
Speaking
If
through
you
a wall.
or if you were a spy, you could swap the memories of the other spies
Oh,
Cool.
wait,
I
that's
like it.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
You
that's
like
about it.
you swap their memories with like a trash can.
What?
No,
Dink,
wait. Now
dink,
I'm
dink.
thinking this is like cartoony, and like you swap their minds with like a trash can, and then the guy like folds over into a trash can, and the trash can starts jumping and hopping around like help, help.
That's great.
Dude, wait, this is like destroy all humans.
I've never played that actually.
Oh, that's a good game.
It's a really good
Is
game.
it?
It's a game where you
That's
destroy
something I missed
all
out on?
humans.
Dude, that's my favorite part of life.
I mean, okay.
Lily, how would you mix a spy game and a cooking game?
BRB.
How would I mix a spy game? Okay. I guess I reuse some of the systems from Assassin's Creed 3, where because he could like in that game you could like catch and kill your own meat and whatever. But you're also very sneaky. So I guess for both like a
That's good.
spy game, you'd have to like. Okay. Here's the story setting. Like you're in like a fantasy world, like a port town or whatever. But like the port town, like jealously hoards secrets from whatever far off lands their trade ships go to, because if they release it to the public, they can't sell it for a higher price. So basically, you're gonna act as like a Robin Hood and try to steal their secrets and then release it to everyone. I don't know.
It's a good story. I think that could be a fun game.
It's kind of like how Europe for a time was blocked from the spice trade. And so Portugal was like, hey, that's not fucking fair. And so they went all the way around the continent of Africa to get spices from India.
So, like, actually, when you think about it, that's one of the things that, like, if you consider the historical or the value of history when building games is, like, I think that's a really good point. Is that, like, if you look at history, there are plenty of really decent game ideas that already exist, just based on things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really clever. So, Carlo isn't here. I
No.
think he was gonna wrap this up. Wait! Oh! He's there.
Dang.
He made it. Hey, look, it's Carlo.
It is Carlo. What is that thing?
What?
Which thing?
That mesh you have over the mic?
Oh, it's called a pop filter.
This is yeah.
It
this
makes
is
it
my-
so you don't have plosives. So when you say P's and things like that, you don't. Here, move your pop filter. Yeah. See how it spikes and it sounds really terrible? It basically softens the air.
I can feel it softening the air tonight.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Oh, my Discord like shat
Hello?
on me for a second. So I didn't
Just
hear
so
whatever
you gave the
response
It
was.
demo.
just took a dump.
You missed.
Yeah.
You missed.
Yeah, so what is that
Carlo's
thing
sweet
you have
plosive.
over your mic?
You missed my plosives. My
You know when you think
plosives.
about it, the
What-
funny thing
what
is
does it
that
do?
like it it stops the P sound and other certain sounds from sounding like
Explosive.
Yeah, so they don't have
Explosive.
Oh.
hear you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It basically softens the air.
I can
That's
feel
a
it
non-technical description.
softening the air tonight.
It basically does the same thing as you see this on my mic, this
Yeah.
foam thing. This is a crummier version of that.
I think they're
But
for
I think
different.
it works.
I think they're for different. They're for different purposes.
Well, they're both plosive filters.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying the foam filter is usually for like stage performances, where it's a lot more difficult to have this thing like dangling in front of your microphone.
Fair. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and then this one's usually.
The other
for,
thing
like,
is with those you have to like speak through it.
Yeah.
With this one, I could
You
speak
can
from
speak
like
from
any
any
angle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the podcast. Thank you all for listening. Leaving us today. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.